Hey, what's up everybody? Coming to you from the local 808 scene. We're here with Justin Conant. We're going to ask him a few questions, pick his brain, see what he's doing, see what he's got going on. First question, tell us a little about yourself, Justin. What you got going on? What are you doing?
God, I don't know. Where do you want me to start? What do I do? Or
Yeah, well, let's see. You've been around the United States. Where would you say you're coming from currently visiting?
I'm visiting from Los Angeles right now. That's where I'm currently residing, but I've lived many places.
Okay, and what are you doing out there right now?
Right now, just trying to make a living, honestly. Trying to find any tour I can. Looking for a fall tour.
Okay. Did you recently get off tour with any bands? Are you on a tour with any bands right now?
Not currently, just out here visiting my boys and Beware the Bear.
Thank you, man.
But I just finished up a tour with a band called Famous Last Words, and we were out with a Chicago band, a small Chicago band called World War Me.
Awesome.
And then the headlining act was a band called Get Scared.
Get Scared. Okay, awesome. How was that touring with Famous Last Words?
They're the best. I love those guys, man. They're seriously, they're family, they're brothers, you know. They're seriously, three of us now have matching Tiny Rick tattoos, so it's permanent now.
And you guys share a bus, hotels?
Oh, wait, no. Sometimes we'll get a clean room. No, we legit live in a van down by the river.
So it's like riding in vans with boys style.
Yeah, straight up. But it's cool because like they've kind of really pimped out their van to like super customized it. Usually it's an 18-passenger Ford E350.
Okay.
That's what it is. And a lot of bands drive that same exact van. And most of them just keep the benches. Some of them really try to get in there and you know, work their magic with whatever carpentry skills they have. But two of the guys in the band are solid carpenters. You know,
Oh, wow.
One of them he does a lot of roofs and stuff like that.
Well
back
then,
home.
I have to ask, do you have your own bunk on this van?
I do, yeah.
Okay.
They built me one, yeah. They
That's
built
killer.
me one. On the first tour I did with them, they just had the bench, and I was totally happy with that. Like, it was totally fine. And then the beginning of this tour, they were like, "Bro, we built you a bunk." And I was like, "What? Oh shit, that's sick." It was nuts.
And you are definitely one of the taller of the boys, correct?
Yeah, I'm the tallest one. Yeah, everyone.
So
like in my bunk, if I'm completely stretched out, the tip of my head will touch the window, and the tip of my toes will be like completely flat beat against the other window. So it's like just barely enough. So it works. But there's 6 bunks in the van, which is really cool. 4 in the back and then 2 in the middle.
Oh.
So then I have the top bunk in the middle, so everybody just climbs over me when we're changing shifts. And it doesn't bother me. I don't care.
that sounds like too much fun, man.
It's a lot of fun.
So what is your favorite band you're shooting right now, or that you have shot recently, would you say?
Well, I just shot Real Friends just a couple nights ago. They're a great band. Dan's a good friend. Really solid, tight band. It's awesome to see them continue to come out here, because a lot of bands just come out here, play once, and never come back. You know, this was their second time here, right?
Yeah, second time.
Pretty great. And
seems to enjoy
my
it.
boys in Beware the Bear got to open up for them this time around, which is pretty rad. And I was stoked to finally shoot you guys under lights, which was really rad. I like that a lot.
And you have any favorite local bands here? I know you mentioned.
I know this band, Beware the Bear. Have you heard of Beware the Bear?
I have heard of Beware the Bear.
They're pretty good. No, I like them a lot. I love Above Reproach. I really dig 8250 a lot. And last time I was here, I saw a band called Scarlet Cord, which I thought was really good too.
Yeah, those guys are really nice guys. Yeah.
Oh, and A Shot at Sundown. They were at. They opened up for Real Friends too. I dug their set.
Killer guys, man.
Yeah, they're pretty good.
One of my favorites.
Mm-hmm.
Cool, man. And how long have you been doing photography for? How long have you been shooting bands or live music?
I've been shooting live music since 2009. The first show I ever snuck a camera into was Blink-182 in Philadelphia, I think it was. And I just thought it was hot shit, like barricade, like just with my little tiny Pentax, like trying to with like a 12 times zoom, and I was like, oh, I can reach Travis from here. Like, it's pretty cool. But fighting pits, I did that for a couple of years.
Wow, so you actually have Tom DeLonge, Mark Hoppus, and Travis Barker.
All playing together.
Your first in 09.
That was the first one, yeah.
That is too badass. Maybe we can get some photos of that for this.
I can probably send you a couple.
That'd be killer.
They're still, they're on my website right now. I have a link on there called Every Show Ever. And it's literally, you just go through the last 7 years of professional photos, and anything past that is just have fun with the trash.
What's the, go ahead, plug in your website. What's the website?
It's jcpics3.com.
jcpics3.com.
Yeah, and then
Check
just all
those
my
out.
handles are at jcpics3 on everything.
Okay, all social media, everything. Good. All right. Well, since you've been shooting, and we talked about, you know, your favorite bands, local bands, and the up-and-comers. What's one of your favorite venues to shoot at? Because, I mean, you said you've been to 49 of the 50 states here.
Yeah, I have.
So you got to have some favorites, right?
I really love Chain Reaction in Anaheim, California. It's one of my favorites to shoot.
First venue I've ever seen live music.
Yeah, it's just a rad room. The energy there is really cool. The kids are great, and they have these like T-shirts of bands that have performed there all over the walls, which is really cool. There's a hallway in the back that leads to the stage from the green room, and I love taking like promo photos in that hallway too. It's pretty rad. Yeah, Chain is definitely top tier. And then there's another one in Pittsburgh called Mr. Smalls.
Mr. Smalls.
Yeah, it's an old converted church, so the acoustics in there, ace.
Killer.
Super good. I haven't been there in a couple years though. That's a pretty rad room. And then there's this one in Salt Lake City. We were just there. It's called the Loading Dock. A tiny room. Like, you've been in Chain Reaction. That's a pretty small room.
Yeah.
Half that.
Wow. Okay.
And kids packed out. Yeah, it's seriously, I mean, the stage is like probably about the size of this room. Like, it's just really tiny, and it's half indoors and half outdoors, and it's like literally they open up a garage door kind of situation, and like there's a stage, and you go back as far as you can, and then it kind of hooks left, so if you're kind of caught over here, you're like, can I see the band? You know? The last show we did there was a hometown show for Get Scared, so it packed out pretty wild. And it's not, there's no like barricade or anything like that. It's just like kid stage. So trying to shoot that room is really tough, and it takes me back to my beginning days of shooting pits.
Oh, awesome. Well, since we're actually on the subject of beginning days of photography, do you have any advice for any young photographers trying to do what you do?
I get this question all the time. Get a 50 millimeter, shoot every day. And just don't get discouraged. Really don't get discouraged. A lot of kids try to compare their chapter 1 to my chapter 37. You know, like, you can't do that. You can go back and look at my old work, and the thing you can't teach is there, but I had to learn how to, you know, get exposures right and get focuses correct and figure out everything else with lenses and bodies and, you know, all of that I learned how to do on YouTube, and you can too. It's the easiest thing. Some kids go to school for it. Cool, if that's what works for them, great. What worked for me? YouTube.
Okay, yeah. I mean, like you said, if you got it, you got it. It'll
just keep at it, man. I just kept doing it. Like, all I did was just brought my camera to shows, because at a very young age I realized that like live music is finite. You know, that bands break up all the time. You know, I learned this lesson in the first time Blink-182 broke up. I had tickets to one of their last tours, and our ride bailed, and then a couple weeks later they broke up, and we were super bummed because we had never seen them. And a couple years later they got back together, and we were able to rally all of the troops and everybody who was going to go to that show, and wound up going, drove down to Philly and see it. But like, live music is finite, and every person who's always like, oh, I had to work that night, or I had to, you know, I couldn't get a babysitter or whatever, like, figure out whatever priority you need, plan for the attack in advance, and set it all up. You know, a lot of people bitch about having to pay $20, $25 for a ticket, but like, give up something during the week. You know, give up drinking Starbucks every day that week. End of the week you got coffee. Give up smoking cigarettes or drinking alcohol that week. End of the week you got $25. You can get a t-shirt or a, you know, whatever, you know.
That is brilliantly put.
It's simple things that you can do to get a concert ticket, go to a show. I know plenty of people that just their entire catalog during their year is just concerts. Like, all right, April we've got 3, you know, October we've got 6, you know, like, we got to save up and just drive. And I know kids that drive 6, 8, 10 hours to go to one show because it didn't come to their state, you know.
Yeah.
So it's the best.
You heard it here. Stop smoking, stop drinking, just for the week, just for the show. Come on, you guys can do it.
I mean, yeah, pick your battles.
You don't gotta do it, you know, you don't gotta do it forever. But, you know, while we're on that subject of drinking, smoking, and whatever, I've been told you have been straight edge.
Yeah, my whole life.
Your whole life?
Yeah, all 31 years of it. It's just something that worked for me. It's not for everybody, and I'm not one of those kind of people who gets pissed off or judges you for doing any of those activities. In fact, I voted for them to legalize weed, so, I mean, it's just not my thing, and, you know, that's that.
I can personally attest to that.
Yeah, I remember being younger, and, like, people would give me shit about it, and they would be like, oh, you know, you're just a wimp, you know, you're not trying to hang with the boys or anything like that. And now the older I get, the more people find out, they're like, respect.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
Or they'll say, I wish I could. I wish I could have, you know.
Yeah, that was actually one thing I was fortunate to be around is when we were around Dan from Real Friends.
Yeah.
And we had the guy come up and ask for a second. I'm straight edge. Oh, really? And everyone was very respectful of that. It was very, respect.
They were like, oh, yeah. Respect, man.
That was actually very interesting. Very cool. But being straight edge, and doing what you do you have any interesting road stories for us that maybe you could share?
Oh, God, yeah. I'm the guy that remembers everything, so...
Anything specific that sticks out in your head? Like, just automatic? I'm sure you have thousands.
Thousands. Let me think. I'm trying to think of something recent, because I kind of tell the same few stories over and over again, because I've had a lot of really cool adventures overseas.
Well, I know, because you've been with Famous Last Words, and you said they are playing currently with, or... Not currently, but just got done with World War Me.
Yeah, and Get Scared.
And Get Scared, yeah. And I've actually had the opportunity to listen to a little bit of World War Me.
Yeah, they're great.
And they kick ass, man. And they look like really fun guys, so I know you got a road story for me.
Let's see. We went bowling a couple of times on that last tour. I don't know what it is.
With all the bands, or?
All the bands, yeah.
Oh,
well,
wow.
The first night it was just us, and everybody, wimped out. And then the second night, all the bands showed up. It was pretty cool. But it turns out our hired gun drummer is just like a closet awesome bowler. So we're all half my guys are drunk, right? They're just doing their thing. We had an off night and everyone's just relaxing. But all of a sudden Brandon gets up and just starts crushing. I mean, form, style, everything.
He's got the leg.
Dude, yeah, he had the sweet leg and everything. I was like, he's a bowler. Look at this guy. And then all of a sudden, we all just had this inner we got to keep up.
Everyone became the Fred Flintstone.
Yeah. So it became this contest, and he wound up just crushing us all. But he was going on and on about the oils on the track and stuff like that, and certain ways to spin it and things. And I was just like, if I hit a pin, I'm happy,
So he could get the spin on the ball then. He was making it.
Dude, yeah, he did.
He was curving from the outside into the middle.
It would go all the way out, get close together, and then spin back in. I'm like, how? Ugh.
Band members, they got many hidden talents.
It's
insane.
None of us knew it. No, we had zero clue that this was a thing. And we watched it happen. We were like, shut the fuck up, Brandon. What is this? It was cool though.
That is so cool, man.
He's a good dude. Great drummer.
That sounds like so much fun. Just touring with all those guys, man. That road story sounds amazing.
It was fun.
And that's all. I mean, and this is all taking place in the mainland.
Yeah.
In the United States. Okay.
That was a West Coast tour mostly. We hit a couple dates in California, Arizona, Nevada. We hit Oregon, Michigan, Idaho, and Salt Lake City.
Killer.
Yeah.
All right. Well, since you've been back in Hawaii, because this is your second time back?
I've been visiting this island for the last 4 years. I lived out here for a brief period of time last year, but it wound up just not working out, and I had to move back to LA, and just for, being in a convenient spot and avoiding a 6-hour flight to get to tour. But I love it here, man. It's my favorite. I love that I got really tight with the local scene, hanging with you guys and stuff, and it's been really a pleasure getting to know this island and the people on it.
Awesome, man. How I have to ask, since you have the experience, man, how does Hawaii scene hold up against the mainland?
I think it's great. Honestly, you guys are all just one giant family, and I think that's really awesome. That was perfectly exemplified at Metal Fest last year. I mean, all those bands that were metal bands came out to see your pop punk band. I think your stage in the smallest room had one of the biggest crowds of the whole fucking night. It was really fucking awesome to see everybody support your band that much. And even kids shouting back at the bar at the Real Friends show the other night. I think that's so cool. I mean, you guys are just this local band. You've been writing music for what, 2 years now, something like that.
Going on, we're in our sophomore year.
Exactly. Yeah, and I mean the record's on its way. I'm certain it's going to be here soon, I've had the privilege of hearing some mixes and stuff, I think it's really, really rad, and everybody else really supports you guys and each other too, and I like that certain members of certain bands are in other bands, we got Zach is in, Beware the Bear, Above Reproach, 8250, and a couple other bands too. He does it all, he plays drums, leads, rhythms, doesn't matter, he'll do everything. I think that's really, really cool that you guys are all just hanging out. It reminds me of when I grew up, I played in the high school band, and all those kids played like drums, guitars, bass, you know, and they were all in like punk rock bands, you know. So for like Friday nights, we would go out to these punk rock shows at a place called Toast. It was this really like 50 cap room in the back of Main Street in town, and all my friends were in each other's bands, you know. So like 2 guys would get off stage, one guy would stay on, and it would be like a whole new band.
It's a continuation.
Yeah, and everybody would swap in and out, and it would literally like audience members you thought were just audience members would be other band members, you know. So they're all just playing to the other bands. It was really cool. It reminds me of those days.
It's very tight knit art scene, and a lot of love coming from all directions.
Yeah, absolutely.
Before we do that, everybody, ole, 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 ole. There you go, louder. Ole.
Collaborate and listen. I just back with a brand new invention. Something that will hold the beat tight. Plus, two things like you're gonna stop. No, pick up the mic and let's go. Street up the mic and then we'll do the street on the mic like a treasure.
Yeah, make some noise. Hey, hey.
Oh my God! Above Reproach!